Pickle, going from this to this, had a total of 15 plus fights throughout the Bucky series so far. Naturally, we know he faced an unknown but large amount of dinosaurs like T-Rexes, and some defeats from bugs when he was young, but current day Pickle's matches begins against the scientist who found the beast and allowed him to awaken, in which he faces a handgun that he tanks a direct shot from, and another that doesn't stop him, about to end the scientist until the military arrives with a mech, tanks and gunships, going straight into his second bout, defeating them all until he was befriended by a special soldier. Next we have the main cast seeing Pickle for the first time, with Yujiro being the first to challenge the beast, forcing his face through this glass, keeping Pickle contained, raising his fist and offering his challenge, beginning the clash of strength, with it looking like it's around even until Pickle begins to view the ogre as a T-Rex and get more excited and serious, forcing Yujiro to abandon the raw strength avenue and flip him on the ground with a technique, ending their exchange. Next is Pickle vs Siberian Tiger, which he was able to low diff accidentally. Pickle vs Retsu is next, the first proper fight, beginning with a swing that is blocked but immensely strong, making Retsu realize right away that facing him in strength will not work. As such, he'll be using techniques, a direct kick followed by a blinding hairspin, allowing Retsu to trip Pickle and land another blow, with it continuing as Retsu lands more shots, countering everything Pickle tries. However, he is not falling, proceeding to blitz Retsu and knock him out, getting the chance to take a bite, waking Retsu up in the process, who tries to escape from Pickle's further feasting. Regardless, the Mad Lad continues with an attempted kick, failing as he's swatted down like a fly, getting up again and giving his all, giving up on techniques at this time, unable to hurt the monster at all, until subconsciously his techniques come out on their own, giving Pickle a beating and being able to drop him again, but not get a knockout. As such, Pickle flies up, entering a stance that will be important to remember throughout this whole video. The final clash occurs, with Pickle blitzing Retsu and knocking out the master. Now ready to enjoy his meal, the old man tries to stop him, but it's over. Goodbye Retsu's leg. Pickle technically fights this guy and steals his drip, and this truck that ran into him, defeating it and claiming the goods. Next he runs into Hanayama on the street, with the challenge beginning right away. Hanayama begins by squeezing Pickle's hand as hard as he can, until Pickle punches him away, clapping the random goons while he waits for Hanayama's return, with the clash occurring next. Pickle getting some dino flashbacks, allowing Hanayama to begin the release of his power, and Pickle as well, showing them as even. Then Hanayama stopped, saying we're done, as Bucky has now arrived, who wants to face the beast, making Pickle excited, being able to almost drop Bucky as somehow he already mastered the basics of Aikido. Then Bucky's body moves on its own, landing this kick. As such, they both pull up to the underground to continue their fight, in which without warning, Pickle lands this monstrous kick, sending Bucky flying, defeating him in one shot. Now it's Katsumi's turn, who right away lands this super fast combo and the most unstoppable attack in the whole Bucky series, in response to Pickle's charge, the almighty nut shot and more blows. However, just one return attack from Pickle was more than enough to make up the difference. They clash again, with Katsumi showing what his training has allowed him to achieve, making Pickle fall to his knees but at a great cost, destroying his hand. Regardless, he continues with a kick and much more, dropping Pickle again. However, Katsumi also falls, having his hands and feet now destroyed, continuing with Pickle rising first, entering this stance that destroyed Retsu. However, Katsumi still has something left. Bang! Pickle is sent far and on his back. This time the injuries are even greater, even believing he had defeated the monster, but the truth was mind-blowing. Pickle was just sleeping, rising up shortly to begin his feast, Katsumi's arm. Subscribe for more Bucky videos like this. I've already done one on Jack and now Pickle. If we get 5k likes, I'll continue the series with someone like Bucky, Yujiro, or whoever else you want. Jack arrives unannounced next, throwing the first blow, and continues with the greatest clash in the whole series, the ultimate kiss, argued to be the greatest in all of manga, with Pickle as the dominant feaster in the situation. As such, the introduction between the both are over, the real fight begins now. Jack lands his uppercut, sending Pickle flying like never before. In response, Pickle already enters this stance once again, charging and disappearing upon reaching Jack. He was sent 20 meters away by Jack's counter, but it doesn't stop there. Jack begins slamming the beast and landing more shots, proceeding to take his ear, which may have been a great mistake. Hatred-filled, enraged Pickle has arrived, getting a speed amp so great he blitzes Jack and everyone else watching when he faces his attacks. This is pretty much what's happening. Jack lands his blow, Pickle goes flying and bounces back before anyone can even understand what happened, now ready to return the blows, hitting an uppercut and a fury of attacks that ends with Jack simply getting destroyed. However, before passing out, Jack put everything he had into one more attack that didn't land, but if it did, it would have been fatal. Something to remember as a main rule in the Buckyverse is that a fight isn't over until someone accepts defeat. As such, Jack returns after awakening in the hospital, landing 5 kicks that has Pickle run away, until of course Rage hits again, landing a monstrous blow that has Jack defeated. Well, after Bucky talks him into accepting defeat after trying to return for a third match. Now it's finally fully prepared and further trained up Bucky's turn. It begins with Pickle's charge that Bucky takes head on and begins his counter, a dread kick dropping Pickle, and a further beating, beginning to choke him out, making Pickle run around and leap into the air, then smash. Both somehow are still on their feet until the delayed shock hits and Bucky begins throwing hands again, and Pickle begins being a troll with bait attacks, resulting in Bucky to walk away and throw himself off the top once again, resulting in more injuries, but the fight continues with Bucky dropping Pickle again, then landing the whip strike known as Bender, making Pickle scream in pain, continuing with more and more that leads into Pickle's rage coming out and taking the iconic stance, and Bucky pulling out something new, the first showing of his imagination dinosaur moves, such as the Triceratops fist and others, with Pickle seeing this from Bucky making him freak out, taking his chance to charge and attack, overcoming Pickle's counter, who takes his second jump from up top to make it even, now getting his chance to drop Bucky and begin stomping, with a blow sending him flying. After returning, he dodges Pickle's follow-ups, all of them, where we get this panel that we all love, speed that has surpassed the concept of speed itself, pretty much being untouchable and can now easily land attacks as well. As such, the nut shot is used, being more effective as Bucky is very experienced at using it, resulting in enraged Pickle and some type of transformation until he throws his strongest attack thus far, which Bucky blocks and tries to counter the follow-up, which should result in Bucky being sent flying when you look at this panel, but this isn't the case, as people have progressed past Pickle's time. The power of technique and skill, which is used once again to overwhelm an amped up Pickle. Then out of nowhere, Pickle begins using imagination, stunning Bucky as he begins his next attack. However, it doesn't matter as his skill is far greater, destroying Pickle to such a degree he tries to escape, which Bucky doesn't allow, dropping him again until he makes a great mistake. He wants to face Pickle with raw strength alone, ending with Bucky getting overwhelmed and defeated, as Pickle even used a technique during this exchange. This is pretty much the end of Pickle's arc. Side note, at some point in this fight, we had Bucky think about Pickle fighting others known for their physical strength, getting panels of him vs Oliver, vs Hanayama, and even Yujiro, pretty cool stuff. Next was during the Bucky and Yujiro fight, where Pickle pulled up, gaining Yujiro's attention, resulting in Bucky to punch him, knocking out one of his teeth, leading into the arrival of enraged Pickle, until he looks at Bucky and understands right away this isn't his fight and sits down to watch. During the Musashi arc, there was this Giga Crocodile that Pickle pulled up on and defeated, with this being on the news gaining Musashi's attention. Thus, their fight is next, having Pickle charge and sliced up a Musashi's swordless style, which continues every time he tries to attack. Now, while enraged, he goes for a kick and more that doesn't land, only Musashi's counters, taking the stance now, landing it on Musashi, but in a way never seen before. Musashi grabs into his hands during the exchange, leading into the strength test that ends with Musashi using the wall to jump up and headbutt the beast away, dropping Pickle on the ground, who proceeds to launch Musashi away, ending part 1 of their fight as Musashi wants to try it out with his sword, continuing in the underground a few days later against a starving Pickle, who right away begins the fight or the hunt for his feast, being stopped by Musashi's sword, which isn't able to slice through Pickle, allowing him to land this punch directly, dropping Musashi, with us then seeing the sword fall off Pickle and the damage being revealed, choosing to slam it into the ground and then swing it at Musashi, who targets Pickle's eye and slices Pickle up upon reclaiming his sword. Next is another charge, getting closer than ever before, having a bite of his shoulder, but falling short due to Musashi's speed, who lands another deadly slash. Now Pickle begins to enter his final transformation according to Baki, and charges with the same result once again. Now Pickle is beginning to view Musashi as this creature. As such, he no longer wants to eat him, proceeding to run away from the other monster. With this being the end of his completed fights, however the Baki manga is still ongoing to this day, with Pickle having another fight being set up in the current chapters, chapter 151 of Baki Dao 2018, with his long awaited return and foreshadowing of a third match against the one and only Jack Hanma, who has improved greatly and is much stronger. So in short, read the manga people, and I hope you enjoyed today's video.